Okay, so hopefully now you've done all the domino slots in all of the rails, and we've come to the part where we're going to create the domino slots for the legs. So we're going to jump back into Fusion, and I'm going to make my main leg as the active component, and then going to draw a sketch on the face that's going to face the end rail that we're going to look at. We're going to zoom it in a little bit, bring it down. All right, so my starting point here is to put some sketching in there to help me work out where to locate these domino joints. So I'm going to go pick the 2-point rectangle, and before I start drawing, over here in the sketch palette on the side, you've got two different types of line types. You can either have construction lines or your regular sketch lines. So I'm going to turn the construction lines on. Now, the difference being is that the construction lines will come up as a dashed, whereas if you turn that off, the construction line, it will be a solid line. And so you can see that one has a ghost shaded blue, meaning that it is a closed profile. And from that closed profile, we can then extrude it and do things like that. So this one is like a working sketch. This one here we can just use to define other pieces of geometry and things like that. The third thing that we can actually do is we can go create, and we can go project and project. In here we can project either parts of specified geometry, or we can specify the whole body. So if I leave it like this, I might want to say, okay, I want to project that line there and that line there to be able to work from, and we'll go with that as well. So we're going to be able to use these lines to be able to reference from, and so we can bring those in. Okay, so let's grab this one that we'll draw a new one. We won't use those two. I'll get rid of them in a sec. So let's start in the top corner there, and we're going to bring that down. And we know that our end rails, or all of our rails, are 19 mils. Oops. We're on that one first. 90 mils that way, and 19 mils on that one. Press enter. So what we've actually got is that's going to be the profile for where our two slots are. I'm just going to quickly click and drag and delete these two out the row so it doesn't confuse you. And we're going to bring that down and bring that in across there. Okay, so that's the space that we've got to work with. And I did something probably not really good because, oh yeah, I'll see if we can fix this. Okay, our end rail was not flush with that. It actually sits in 5 millimeters. And I can't just click and drag this because it's actually applied these constraints here. So what we're going to need to do is delete these away and see if we can drag it then. Why won't it let me move it now? We should be able to move that. Oh, there we go. We got one. Why won't it let me move this one? So let's delete that. Come on. Okay, let's just, for the sake of that, let's just delete that. We'll just draw it again. All right, so this time leave a bit of a gap between that and the corner, bring it down. And don't forget to dimension that. So distance between these two is 19. And distance between this to this is 90. Okay. So we want a gap between this face and this edge of the material to be 5 millimeters. Okay, so that's better. That's what we wanted. All right, so now we're going to draw, wait, that line up there, so that should be in line. There we go. Okay, so we're going to draw our slots into this space. So we're going to go to slot, center slot. Don't forget to turn the construction off. And we're going to draw them in here. And so if from memory, they were 13 millimeters long. Press enter a couple of times by 8. And then if you remember, we can move this down a little bit. So, okay, so now we're going to add some dimensions in here to tie this together. So we want the dimension across the middle there. We want that to be 13. We want the dimension between that to this top edge to there. We want that to be 13.5. And then from the edge of our dashed line to the middle of that dashed line, we need that to be 9.5. Like that. I think that's all we need. So that's centering that to where our hypothetical end space is going to go. We're going to create a second one of those to do another slot down the bottom here. So it's 13. Press enter a couple of times, then go 8, press enter. Get your dimension tool, dimension this middle bit to 13. I don't know why it doesn't come up automatically, but that's okay. From there to the bottom there was 13.5. And from there to there should be 9.5. Press enter. Okay, so there's all our sketches done. Again, same process as before, which we are going to go finish sketch and spin him around, and then we're going to extrude those two shapes. So you can see here we can't extrude the dashed line, we can only extrude that whole face, or we can extrude that. Now, this might get a bit tricky later on. We might have to adjust these slightly. So if we do a negative offset of 25, in here we can go negative 25 and go okay. Now what might happen is that when the dominoes that are coming in this way may hit these, we'll have to have a look at that. If they are, we might have to do offset dominoes, in which case they might go 30 mils into the rails and 20 mils instead of 25 mils into the legs. Okay, so that's the process that we've got for that. And then we need to repeat that process. So there you go, that's what they're sort of going to look like. We need to repeat that process on this side here. I don't know. We could try doing it, see if we can do a quick pattern to see whether it comes up on the right side. It may not. If we go to circular, perhaps. Let's try this. Feature. Select the objects. Axis. We don't have an axis in here. That's not what I want. It may not work. I was going to see whether we could do something that goes around. Let's not worry about that and make everything confusing. Just draw that same process on the other legs, and then go from there. So again, you'd be going sketch, pick that face, bring it back down to the top. All right, there it is there. Get a rectangle. We'll speed this up a little bit, bring that down. So this is going to be 90, tab 19. Then we're going to get our slot tool. And we're going to draw two slots there that are 13. That double tab, 8, enter. And I know what you're about to say. You're about to say you've done that as a construction, which I did. 13. And go 8, enter. If you have done it as a construction, if you then click on those things, you can then just go back over here and click on that, and it will put them back to normal lines. Okay, then we want to get our tool here, and we're going to go from there to there is 13, and from there to there is 13.5, and from there to the front edge is 9.5. Okay, and then we can do the same up the top. So we want from there to there. That is the same as that. And from there to there is the same as that. And then that one there is the same as that. Okay, finish sketch. And then we're going to punch them out. So we're going to go extrude. Spin this around a little bit. That one, and go back in. So we're going to go -25, enter. Okay, let's just do a quick view in a wireframe format and see whether they are interfering with us. So if we go to wireframes with hidden edges, okay, so you can see what's going to happen here. Our dominoes are going to smack into each other. So we are going to, you have to adjust that slightly. We are going to need to bring that back a little bit because of that, so that they may be 20 mils in here. Let's have a look, see if we can work that out. No, not really. Length, so 21. So yeah, so we're going to have to make those 20 mils on one side, 30 in the other. But that's all right, that's doable. We'll fix all that up later on. Okay, so that's the good thing about doing this, you can see is where all your joints are and stuff like that. Okay, so next video we will have finished all the legs, where the domino holes are. We'll create a domino, and then we're going to basically start assembling this framework together in the next video. All right, we'll see you in that one. Bye.